I think we're live. I think, oh, this doesn't fall. We are live. Good morning, everybody. All right. We made it happen for this Friday. Boy, we couldn't let another day go by and let a whole week go by without a ritual, without a 50-50 ritual. Let me get my spectacles. I'll be right back. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so anyone joining in for the first time, I'm Sifu Z, and this is the 50-50 ritual. And this is scheduled for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but because I'm a nomad and I travel a lot, mostly in the mountains, I don't get cell service a lot of times. So it's a challenge. I didn't think I was going to have cell service this morning, but for some reason, 4 bars kicked in. All last night, it was just 2 bars and LG or LTE or something, right? And now this morning, I got 4 bars and 5G. It makes no sense. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, this is the 50-50 ritual. What does that mean? Well, this is a channel dedicated and in respect to martial art exercise, and 50-50 ritual refers to half of our training we do out to the public. Does that make sense? We do out to the public. Okay, you know what I mean. And the other half we do over on patreon.com/SifuZ. And this is all brought to you by my website, sifuz.com. That's spelled SIFUZ or Z if you live in other parts of the world, sifuz.com. And yeah, go check it out if you haven't done so already. Soon I'm going to be overhauling my websites. It's kind of that time of the year where you find a nice warm place and do all that internet stuff. Let me see. Let me get a little closer. Noob player, how you doing? You know, I don't know how the algorithms send this stream out. I don't know how, but in case you didn't know, this is a martial arts stream, and it's in respect to martial art training, martial art exercises, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, welcome. If not, have a great day. All right, immortal editor, Snoop Dogg. Very good. Oh, me. I must look like Snoop Dogg. You know, that hasn't been said often, but it has been said. Has been said. I get Snoop Dogg. Well, I get Gandhi more than anything else. Yeah, Gandhi these days. Used to be Brad Pitt. Welcome, everybody. This is the 50-50 ritual. We're doing sandbag training. And sandbag training, this is play sand, not regular sand. Play sand has to be clean sand so you don't wind up getting staph or anything of that nature. And yes, it's just conditioning, very mild conditioning. We're not trying to create calluses on the hands or anything like that. And by the way, this is for entertainment purposes only. That's right. So if you are going to train along with us, you do so at your own risk, at your own peril. That's right. This is mostly a forum for people interested, or you already trained and you just kind of want to get together and sort of talk story while we do our sand training and before we go hard and heavy. Yeah, that we do over again at patreon.com/CFUZ. So, oh, and by the way, if you want to go and check out the other half of this 50/50 ritual, just go on over to patreon.com/CFUZ and choose any tier. Any tier will get you the private half, the other half of the 50/50. So that way you'll have 100% of access to the whole training ritual. We also like to sort of introduce or even talk about certain types of exercises. So if you do a martial art or if you do some sort of martial art style exercise, maybe even a regular exercise, I don't know. Let us know in the chats. Again, this is very mild training. You don't want to hurt or ruin your hand, damage your hand. Your hand is probably one of the most complicated sections of joints and tendons and stuff, right? So you really want to treat your hands well. Striking this hard is not going to have the same effect as what we're attempting here. Here we're doing a gradual development. We're just thickening and making more solid the fist. And believe it or not, it's not even really for punching, but we'll go into that some other time. It's mostly just to keep the hands strong. So that way uh, you close your fingers in self-defense, of course. We're not talking about sport fighting, but in self-defense, mostly you're keeping your hands closed so you don't get your fingers grabbed, right? And of course, you can use a fist to punch, but typically in self-defense, we'll use this part of our hand and do more strikes of this nature and not risk breaking our hands. All right, we're coming up on the end of our sand training here. We do the sandbag training for about 10 minutes. Also, this is a drinking show. Be sure to drink plenty of water. Now, typically, I have a guest host, Sifu Chad. He's currently in Hawaii and probably doesn't have full bars. That's my guess. So, so if you're missing Seafood Chad, then you'll have to come back. Maybe he'll be joining us next week. Again, next week we're going to shoot for Monday and Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We shoot for Monday, Wednesday, Friday every morning, 8:30 California time. But a lot of times we can't make it. I thought this whole week was going to be a wash. Luckily, I've been blessed by 5 bars. Now, of course, we train even if we don't have access to cell. The cell and the internet stream, that's just icing on the cake. Yeah, that's so we don't have to train alone so much. I remember being told when I was a kid, you come into this world alone and you leave this world alone. Well, that's rather morbid, but I do like to direct that old saying to, you're going eventually you're going to have to train alone, right? You can't depend on a training partner. No, no, you cannot. I mean, you can depend on a training partner for a while, I'm sure there's exceptions. I'm sure there's folks out there that, they live in the community, right? And you've got people that you've known for years, and you're going to be in the same place for years. But for us nomads, that's having a regular training partner is very challenging. And the nomad lifestyle is a very common lifestyle for martial artists, specifically for kung fu guys like myself. Now, I say I'm a kung fu guy. I've done practically every martial art under the sun. I just love martial arts, jujitsu, boxing, wrestling, all that stuff. Love it, love it. But I've been a huge fan of the whole philosophical, the whole package of martial arts as it is in Kung Fu. So, been a big fan of Kung Fu since I was a kid. So, and still a big fan. Although not a cultural Kung Fu fan or movie Kung Fu fan. No, I've just always loved the movement and the techniques and the skill sets that Kung Fu is represented. All right, we are done our sand training. Let's do a little bit of stretching. I know some of you, it's different times of the day, maybe earlier for some, later for others. But I'm guessing for most it's morning. Yeah, I think I take off my. I think you were referring to this in the Snoop Dogg sense. It's amazing how much is attributed to certain people. Yeah. Ooh, how's my hair? My hair do okay? All right. Now we're gonna flex the wrist. We're gonna flex it this way, and we're gonna flex it this way. And I don't force a stretch. Every when you stretch, it has to feel good. Nice little secret to stretching is breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the other direction. And again, we'll do 2 sets of these. And other direction. Let's do some rotations, wrist rotations. And the other direction. Now, opposite directions. And change, and change, 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 change. All right, let's stretch the shoulders. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And take it to the back. Other shoulder. And to the back. Breathe. Intertwine the wrists. Pull the shoulders back. Breathe. And intertwine the other way. Shoulders back. Breathe. Good. Let's exercise the neck. Just going to lift the neck up. And do not do this exercise if it creates any pain or strain. All right. Just getting a nice sort of stretch and exercise. You can consider this an exercise, but look at it more like a stretch. If you're really trying to get a full range of stretch, you could even give yourself a little help, but not too much on this. Now, ear to shoulder. Again, think of this more as a dynamic exercise, or a dynamic stretch, rather. I believe practically all exercise would be dynamic, except for static exercises. There are such things. In fact, Wing Chun Kung Fu is probably the king of static style exercises. All right, and rest the neck. And now with the head on the ground, we do rotations. Now, if your neck is strong, you can lift your neck up and do rotations as well. But again, I'm thinking of this more as a stretch. Now, This is a good stretch. This is a good stretch. This is a good stretch. Rotations, on the other hand, if you keep your head up, now you are actually getting more into the exercise realm. And so these neck um, movements that I'm doing are just more geared toward stretching the neck. Good. Now let's do some kicks, some leg extensions. Now in martial arts, these are really well, geez, you see it with kids even, especially a kid that doesn't want to go somewhere, right? They'll usually kick like this, yeah, and kicking, right? You can go onto your hip, or you can go onto your back. You could even rise up on your shoulders and kick, right? So these kicks are pretty useful, pretty functional. So I'm gonna do some kicks this way. Now you could go alternate if you'd like. Yeah. Why don't let's do that? Let's do alternate. Switch the hip. Onto the back. I have a bony butt, so I'm gonna put my hands to protect my lower spine. Good. Now on the side, just gonna do 2 sets of these back to back. Now the other side. Now this is commonly known as an up kick. Okay? There's a lot of ways that you can do this and use as an exercise, especially this hip thrust exercise is a good example of using that to uh, as an up kick, doing the up kick exercise in order to exercise the hips. All right, if you have any questions, put it down in the chat below. We're coming up on the last 5 minutes of our 50-50 stream. Again, if you'd like to join us for the other half of this stream, just go on over to patreon.com/sifuzi/slash Sifuzi. That's spelled capital S, lowercase IFU, uppercase Z, all one word, Sifuzi. I should have just gone all lowercase with these. Yeah, go on over to patreon.com/Sifuzi, pick any tier, and you'll have access to the private portion of this training session. All right, no question. Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Okay. Yeah, I never make fun of anybody's English because if you can speak more than one language, you're already ahead of most people in the world, right? So good on you. If you know multiple languages, good on you. All right, let's do one last sort of a movement here. This one, I think you've got downward dogs and you got upward dogs in yoga. I'm only interested in the stretch to the back. And again, you only do as much as you feel comfortable. If you're only comfortable going this far, only go that far, you know? Yeah, you're just trying to warm up and kind of stretch, kind of knock the evening dust off, the sleep, knock the sleep off of you. And relax. And one more. Now, these you can do these on your knees, you can do these on your toes. You can see a little better this way. You can do these on your toes. Here we go. Yeah, you can do them on your toes, on the flats of your feet. You can only, if you can only go down a certain amount, that's fine. Just get that little bit of a stretch. Yeah. How often are you in this position? There may be some of you that have professions that will have you in this position, but this is not a common position. So you can even kind of move it around a little bit, loosen it up. Good. Now is a good time for that downward dog. That's what I believe they call this one. Many of you yoga enthusiasts will probably know this well and have an amazing amount of detail. I think the most important detail in any stretching is just to breathe, proper breathing. Breathing in through the nose, filling up the stomach with air, and exhaling. Now, apparently, a lot of folks are chest breathers, and to get the full benefit of breathing, deep breathing specifically, you want to actually bring that breath into the stomach. Now, of course, you're not breathing air into the stomach, but that's the visualization. A lot of these visualizations people take literally, um, but it's just like grounding, right? It'll take grounding literally. Grounding is just being balanced and centered. So, yeah, balanced and centered doesn't sound anything like grounding, but that's what grounding is, at least in martial arts. Okay, I think we are. Oh, okay. We still have. We got. We got. I think 2, 3 minutes left. Let's do this. All right. And those of you that are training with me over on Patreon, we're just going to transfer right on over. So as soon as we end this, you'll get the invite, and we will kick it up a notch, shall we say? All right. This is called planking, and you can do planking from here. You can do planking statically or dynamically. You can do planking from the knees. You can do planking from the toes. But the main thing is to plank. In other words, be straight like a plank. Yeah, not bent, not butt up, but nice and straight. Breathe. And pull your abdomen in. Really suck your stomach in. Which is a challenge because it's hard to do the deep breathing, the visualization for the deep breathing. when you're actually sucking your stomach in for a plank. Now, there are some that do planks where they'll take the arms and the feet out as well. So, any way you want to do planks, you just have at it. I like this inward planking. I like that. That's kind of fun stuff right there. All right, the sun is finally coming out. Oh man, I tell you, the winters in the mountains as the season changes is cold. All right, folks. So, uh, thanks for visiting us here at Sifu Z. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe. If you know someone that you think would benefit from these sorts of exercises, be sure to send them our link. Um, with how the kids say it: subscribe, like, comment, share. Boy, that's a lot. That's a lot, isn't it? Yeah. If you just subscribe, that would help out a lot. So we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, because, well, that's what YouTube wants, right? But heck, I'd like to have more subscribers than 1,000. That's for sure. I remember when we first started this back in 1995. We were using the Real player, and and then we transitioned over to YouTube. Back in the early days, I think we had like 100,000, and then I shut the channel down. I This is before we knew. Well, it was actually before YouTube really monetized properly. I think they're still trying to monetize properly, but anyway, here we are. We're still here, still swinging away. All right, so I'll see you guys. Hopefully, have a great weekend. By the way, hopefully I will see you guys next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30. Um, it's a roll of the dice as of late because of the changing season and whatnot. So if we're not there on any given Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just go check out our archive. I got a huge archive of our 50-50 session at this point. You'd always go back to an archive and check those out and train along with those or whatever you like to do. All right. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week. Aloha.